Being a nurse for 45 years, I was very adamant about regular mammograms, always had my mammogram yearly. And this mammogram showed a little something different. My doctor recommended that I have further testing, and that further testing didn't seem to be a problem. They thought it was just inflamed lymph node, nothing to worry about. But my heart just kept telling me that I just didn't feel good about that. There's something bothered me, so I wanted to get another opinion. So I went to a breast center in Evansville, actually, talked to another radiologist that looked at the film, and he said no, he thought that it was probably the right diagnosis, that he didn't think there was anything to worry about, but to ease my mind, he would bring me back in 6 months for a recheck. So when I went back for the recheck, it did show cancer. It wasn't in the area that we were worried about. It was actually a new area. So I think it was a God thing there too that brought me back for that recheck, because it was caught very early, and I was very fortunate with that. The doctor told me that it looked like I did have cancer. They would have to do a biopsy. So after that, we did the biopsy, and it did come out to be cancer. He referred me to an oncologist and a surgeon, and we went from there. It was triple negative breast cancer, which normally you don't have to do chemotherapy if your tumor is less than 5 millimeter, but mine was 6 millimeters. So I did have to, after surgery, I did have a lumpectomy. And after surgery, I did go through some chemotherapy and 20 radiation treatments.
Most husbands, your role is to take care of your wife, and that's one area I just couldn't do nothing. But the only thing I could really do was pray and try to meet her needs as she went through this journey.
The first treatment was rough. I had just come off of having COVID, and then the first chemo treatment, after that, it did take me down a notch. Yeah, it was rough. And then just as you start feeling better, it's time to go back. And with the second treatment, my hair was falling out. So James and I—
That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
We sat here in the kitchen, and he shaved my head, and we both cried, but it was just a very rough time. But then after I finished the chemotherapy, they gave me about a month to recuperate from that, and we started with radiation. We drove to St. Louis Monday through Friday for 20 treatments. The radiation wasn't as bad. You still felt tired, and you're tired from driving every day, somewhere. But it wasn't as bad as the chemotherapy. So we got through that.
Springfield Plastics, when I found out she had it, and I had to call Steve and Jennifer and say, I've got to take off. And I said, I don't care if I am like medical leave. Steve and Jennifer said, we'll take care of your customers. We'll take care of anything
they were
you
wonderful.
Need.
Yeah.
They told me I didn't have to call anyone, but it was really therapeutic to still be able to talk to people. So I can't thank Springfield Plastics, Steve and Jennifer enough for what they did.
And their prayers. We knew they were praying for us. But Drain for the Cure, it was always important to us, but it hit home in 2015 when my son had cancer. And then when it hit home with us, it even more so, and with the triple negative breast cancer, and we've always been supporters of it, and we will as long as we're able to.
You go to any stadium and they show somebody's had cancer, just about everyone can stand up with someone that's involved in it. And the same premise with my customers. You talk with them about my wife and Luke, and there wasn't anyone that didn't say, they didn't have someone. And then diversifying this to other states, I believe it's going to help the program, because I had some guys say, well, we'd like to stay in Indiana, and they fixed that. So this is just a great program they have, because without research, they don't learn more. So that's what this is all about. We want to pay it forward just like it was started, and that's what we do with our part, and every customer does with their part. The raffles is nice, but just giving a donation, knowing what it's going to, because the bakers don't have to do this. The board doesn't have to do this. They do this because they want someone else to be saved from the program and let the loved one's legacy live on.
I just had that in August, and everything was fine. Cancer-free now 3 years. Just made me feel so blessed for what we had, and also so blessed that there are fundraisers and there are research going on and things that can be done to help people that need it desperately.